Tchouameni to Arsenal transfer back on the ladder. I was doing a certain live onto this channel and one of you came in and told me that, Rokani, can you please let us know about the Tchouameni transfer to Arsenal? Obviously, Arsenal are really looking to recruit big. And I tell you, after next summer transfer window, Arsenal is going to be a juggernaut. Trust me, it's going to be a juggernaut. If they bring in 3 players worth £200 million, of which they can obviously spend more than that, Arsenal is going to turn into a juggernaut like Man City. It's going to be the real force to really break the dominancy of Manchester City, because Arsenal is 2-3 players away from obviously becoming a juggernaut like Man City. It's going to be a colossal force that everyone won't like to face. That is it, because Arteta is building exactly what he saw at Man City at the club of Arsenal. From the top to the bottom, that's what Arteta is doing. And guess what? Is looking and identifying more world-class players to come in through and really play at Arsenal. And we are going to discuss that onto this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We are also going to discuss about the young Brazilian that Arsenal signed from Sao Paulo, that is Marquinhos. Arsenal looking like they're going to call him back from there is a team that is playing for in League One, and they are calling him back to see to it that things go on as planned, because the coach has gone ahead to betray the side of Arsenal. And lastly, today, you know, the Ballon d'Or is obviously going to be really announced, or the win of the Ballon d'Or is going to be announced in Paris. And the brother of Lionel Messi has gone ahead, obviously, give us a very big hint about who is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I know we've come in late, but obviously by the end of the day, you guys are not going to be complaining, or the thirst is going to be quenched by the news and information coming in from your respective clubs onto this channel. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. Let's see close to 300 likes in this video as we talk Tchouameni and Marquinhos. Now, Steve K, working for the transfer.com, is the one who broke this story, and he said Arsenal have identified Real Madrid midfielder Aurelien Tchouameni as their #1 target for the next summer. Ghana's boss, Mikel Arteta, wants the 23-year-old French international to play in the #6 role and push former Hammer midfielder Rice further forward into the departed Granit Xhaka #8 position. Madrid would want at least £60 million for the French international, but possibly even more. Now, when you look at the team of Arsenal and that they're building, it's obviously lacking a player like Aurelien Tchouameni. That is it. In the modern game, you see to it that you need 2 players into that midfield who can play as a #6 and a #8. That's what Declan Rice brings to you at Arsenal. And Arteta identifying Aurelien Tchouameni as their #1 target next summer is really one of the biggest sports that Arsenal have ever gone ahead to make. Remember, it's known that Arsenal were not interested in this player even last summer, but they were cut short to obviously go in and obviously get in the player due to the reason that they never had some huge money. Though others were really referring to the linkage of Aurelien Tchouameni to Arsenal was a story being built up by his agent to see to it that Real Madrid keep him on the field of play, because last season he rarely started for the club of Real Madrid. It was Camavinga, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos in that midfield, and sometimes Valverde, and he never got enough playing time at Real Madrid. And the coming in of Jude Bellingham went ahead to obviously act as a threat to Aurelien Tchouameni and his agent, putting in consideration that if at all last season we couldn't obviously get into the starting 11 of Real Madrid when Bellingham was not around, how do we get into that mix if at all Bellingham is here? He was really afraid, and I think that's why the story was put out. But the fact is, Arsenal has typical interest in Aurelien Tchouameni. That is it. They need the player and they want to sign the player. Though, the big question remains, how much will they pay for the player? Teams like Real Madrid and their hierarchy, they will never stop a player from going if another player wants to go, and there is a suitor who can obviously meet their realistic evaluation of that player. For example, they still wanted Casemiro to stay at Real Madrid, but when Casemiro knocked on the door and said, I want to leave the club of Real Madrid, and they asked him, do you have a club that can obviously meet our realistic evaluation or our asking price? He said, yes. How much do you want? How much do they, 60 million pounds plus 70 million pounds of plus 10 million pounds of add-ons? Man United coughed that money and they really released the player. Now for Aurelien Tchouameni, I think he's not 60 million pounds player, because even when they signed him from Monaco, they signed him for 80 million euros. That is like 72 million pounds. So I think if at all Arsenal put on the table 100 million pounds, right? 100 million pounds, Real Madrid will be tempted to sell Aurelien Tchouameni. Why? Real Madrid are really trying to create space to get in more money, to see to it that they get in players like Kylian Mbappe. Now, Kylian Mbappe is a player that is obviously going to take a huge salary, and Real Madrid to pave way, you know. And when you look at like Valverde's presence, Camavinga, Jude Bellingham, I think Real Madrid can obviously thrive without Aurelien Tchouameni. You know, I know Tchouameni might be really wanting to play at Real Madrid, but Madrid can really put out a situation that can see you leave, and it depends on how Edu and the other people negotiating the deal really go out and obviously give Aurelien Tchouameni reasons, all convincing reasons to come to Arsenal, because in the transfer, in this football world, no transfer is impossible. By the time PSG went in to sign Neymar, or to show interest in Neymar, no one thought that Neymar would leave Barcelona. But Barcelona went ahead to tell PSG that he has a buyout clause of, was it 200 million euros? PSG broke the bank and signed Neymar. And I think Neymar looks like he's the most expensive player in the world. That is it. So, let no one lie to you that this won't happen, or it will happen. It can happen, it cannot happen depending on the factors. And just imagining how Aurelien Tchouameni and Declan Rice would feature at Arsenal, it will be a juggernaut. Trust me, as I tell you, Arsenal are building a juggernaut. And it's like 2-3 players from being accomplished. For example, they need a player like Aurelien Tchouameni in their midfield. They need a player to play on the right attacking side of the midfield, you know. And I think they need another left back. That is it. I think the juggernaut will be complete. That is it for Arsenal. So, but Real Madrid are really hard on really making a decision on whether they sell the player or not. But Arsenal have gone ahead to identify him as their #1 summer transfer target. Now, Fabrizio Romano has told us about that and how hard it is to obviously see this man leave the side of Real Madrid to join Arsenal. He said, Liverpool dreamed of Tchouameni last summer, but it was impossible to convince the player or Real Madrid. Now, to see to it that Aurelien Tchouameni crosses to Arsenal, first and foremost, I think convincing Real Madrid is not a problem. The problem is convincing Aurelien Tchouameni, and Tchouameni tells them that I want to leave. If the player says I want to leave and I want to go to Arsenal, they'll obviously pave way for the player, see to it that he obviously gets out of Real Madrid. And I think in 100 million pounds, they can obviously get in some other good players that can replace him. And Real Madrid are really good at doing business. So there are very many players they can obviously see as replacements. There is Zubimendi, you know, and other players into the league that are really doing great. So we wait and see how that pans out. But Arsenal have gone ahead to show interest in Aurelien Tchouameni, 20 to 23 years of age, and he's obviously doing the needful at the club of Real Madrid. This season, he has been really pivotal in everything they've gone ahead to achieve, and that midfield of Bellingham, Valverde / Camavinga, and Tchouameni is really doing wonders right now. So let's go to the story of Marquinhos, 20-year-old player who was loaned at Nantes at Arsenal, and he has gone ahead to play only 5 games this season, and Arsenal feel like this is really a breach of a common understanding they had in between them and the team of Nantes, and they've gone ahead to say through the Mirror, or the Mirror is reporting that Arsenal could recall Brazilian winger Marquinhos from his loan at Nantes, with the French club having only started him 1 time so far. That has seen him play less than 90 minutes of football, with his development not being aided as Arteta would like. Marquinhos had moments last season, but never managed to hone down a place in the side. Could be one of the Gunners looked to offload soon, with Wolves winger Pedro Neto on the wish list. So Marquinhos is a player they really got on a cheap from Sao Paulo. Him coming in from Sao Paulo raised a lot of dust, because it was rumored that his bout clause was supposed to be 45 million euros, but the player's contract was running down and they had to take in the money that Arsenal would give them, that is 3 million euros, to sign the player. The player's gonna hit to come in at Arsenal, and he scored his first goal and put up an assist in his Arsenal debut. And I see a player in him that obviously has the attributes that really play in the Premier League. And my worry has always been, why is he loaned that side when he's supposed to be playing in the Premier League? And if at all you want your player to be playing in the Premier League, at least you have to loan him the Championship, because there are teams in the Championship that can get him enough playing time. Because at Norwich last season, it never worked out well, and they needed to obviously get him a team. I think they are trying to do what they were trying to do a Balogun. Like Balogun went to steady Rennes, played very well, and obviously became one of the hottest assets on market last season. It has failed to work out. And I think what they would have gone ahead to do would have gone ahead to be, why don't you take him to Rennes and talk to that coach, because that coach might have gone ahead to understand Arsenal players very well, or else take him to where Vieira is. Strasbourg, let him play that side, because Vieira is an Arsenal legend who would like to obviously see an Arsenal player thrive. But I think that was a loan that burnt the fingers of the manager, and the decision made by Edu is going ahead to fire back. But I think they have the best to obviously rectify it. But I think Marquinhos is a player that just needed to be loaned in the Championship. All else, keep him at Arsenal, because Arsenal is strong this time, and certain games are going to be killed off early enough, like the game of Sheffield. If at all Marquinhos was around, would have gone ahead to come in through and played some good 30 minutes in that game. The game of the Champions League, where they beat PSV by 4-0. The Carabao Cup games, FA Cups are really resuming. So I think would have gone ahead to come in through and really put in efforts that everyone going to talk about, because I see him as a player with huge potential, and he's obviously doing wonders, and will be doing wonders at Arsenal. So, however much they're looking at Pedro Neto is really also having a muscular injury. I see him walk off the weekend in the game of Newcastle that ended 2-2. So, Pedro Neto is an injury-prone player, and I think Arteta might think twice and say, all right, why not go back and obviously get this man to do me the job? And that is none other than Marquinhos. Now, leaving the Marquinhos story and Tchouameni, let's talk about the Ballon d'Or that's going to be really given away today in France. 30th October is the date, and today the brother of Lionel Messi has gone ahead and really put out a post on Instagram that leaving Lionel Messi ready for today, a special day where he will win his 8th Ballon d'Or. Thank you, Leo, for always trusting me and for giving me the blessings to make this the biggest cut of my career, which will be seen by the world end. So Lionel Messi trust me, he's the winner of the Ballon d'Or. I know many people are really saying that it should be Erling Haaland. I've seen Eden Hazard come out and really put out a tweet that the Ballon d'Or should be given to someone else who's really least expected. How do you give it to the player, or arguably the best player in football for all time? Now, so if I told someone is beautiful and they're conducting beauty pageants or a beauty pageant of competition, that person shouldn't be considered because she's already beautiful, right? So they should go in for someone who is less beautiful than that person who is expected to win it because of her already being beautiful. No. If you set the bar, that others cannot meet, you are really liable to win all those competitions. So to me, no one is going to come close to Lionel Messi. That is it. He played at PSG last season. It was not like he was playing for Inter Miami. He played in the Champions League. He played in the World Cup. And he won it. This is really vivid that this man, Messi Lionel, won the Ballon d'Or last year. When he won the Copa America. That is it. How is it going to be if I told you I was going to win the World Cup? Obviously, it goes to him. If Ronaldo was the team that won the Champions League, there would have been a very huge argument. But I don't think that for a player like Haaland, who never represented for his country, he should come near winning this. And Haaland, to win the Ballon d'Or, should obviously come out and obviously perform well in years that don't have the Euros, in years that don't have the World Cup. And those are supposed to be, because this next year we are having it's called the Euros. So that means he's supposed to be performing better in the season of 2024-2025, right? That is the season for Erling Haaland that can lift a Ballon d'Or. But if at all a player goes ahead and performs well for his team and goes ahead to obviously win the Euros, obviously that player will lift the Ballon d'Or. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Telling me your thoughts about Aurelien Tchouameni, Arsenal making him their transfer target. Then your thoughts onto the return of Marquinhos to Arsenal. And lastly, do you think Lionel Messi deserves to win the Ballon d'Or? All that and more into the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching the first video of the day. More is coming. Stay tuned on this channel. Rokani David remains my name. I'm out. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. Ciao, ciao.